Hey everyone. In this video, I want to talk to you about the art of not chasing people. So this is kind of like a part 2 to a video I made a few months ago called Don't Chase People. But in this video, I kind of want to go a bit more in depth and kind of talk to you about what you should do instead of chasing and how this concept plays out in the real world. So, like I said in that previous video, you should never chase anyone, because when you do this, it kind of kills whatever you had going with the other person. Because even if somehow you're able to maintain their attention, chasing someone pretty much conveys a lot of neediness. And this neediness is going to scare the person away. You're basically kind of telling them that you like them so much that the thought of not having them in your life devastates you, so you have to chase them and try to keep them in your life. Whereas if you don't have that neediness and you're coming from a place where you love your own company and you love who you are and you're completely comfortable being alone, you're not going to have any of that vibe. In fact, you're not going to go after people who are going to force you to chase them to keep them in your life. You're just going to say, why the hell should I waste my time on this person who is playing these kinds of games or who clearly doesn't like me as much as I like them? Instead, you'll focus your time and energy on people who are choosing you. As they say, you should choose people who choose you. That's why you shouldn't chase anyone. But to get into it a bit further, I've seen people believe that not chasing someone means not putting in any effort whatsoever. That's not the case. This concept pretty much means you should still put in effort, just you kind of want to mirror the effort that the other person is putting in as well. You, in a way, want to reciprocate their energy. So if somebody is putting barely in any effort to the relationship, that's pretty much a good sign that they may not be interested or they're just not in the right headspace for what you're looking for. And it pretty much shows you that you may want to focus your time and energy on somebody who's ready for what you want. So I'm not saying you shouldn't put in any effort whatsoever. That's not what the concept of not chasing entails. It pretty much means you shouldn't be the only one putting in effort. That's usually the case when you're chasing someone. If you're chasing them, odds are they're putting in very little effort to the relationship. It might be like an 80-20 rule, where you're putting in 80% of the effort, they're putting in 20%, which is horrible, but that's often how it plays out. You'll be the one 80% of the time trying to call them, or trying to set up the next date, or trying to text them, talk to them, whatever it may be. It'll just be, all the effort will be coming from you, and very little of it will be coming from them. That's how you know when you're chasing, and you do not want to do that. So, not chasing still means putting in effort. It just means putting in an equal amount of effort, if you can, to what they're already doing. So, you pretty much want to kind of gauge their actions, pay attention to what they're doing, and there will be times where people are busy, so you can't quite say that no effort from them means they're completely disinterested. They might just be busy. I mean, I'm one of those people, especially now I go from work to then making these videos to then working out to doing other things. I don't have a lot of time to text women, so they kind of just know that I'm one of those people who will maybe text her once a day, maybe a few times a day, but probably not more than that. I'm not the kind of guy who will text her a whole bunch. That's just not me. So there will be a lot of people out there who are like that. So never kind of rule out somebody if they're a slow communicator. They could still be trying, it's just they have other priorities. And you aren't going to be a high priority in somebody's life until you're in an official relationship with them. And that's pretty much to be expected. So don't kind of assume that somebody's going to place you immediately as their number one in life just because you're dating. But you should still expect some form of effort. Like I said, even though I don't text much, I will text usually once a day or so. But that's not even entirely true, but there will still be effort coming in. So you'll be able to know. Now, if you're not hearing from someone for maybe more than 2 days or 3 days, that is a bad sign usually, and you'll want to pay attention to that. But pretty much the whole point here is you want to pay attention to people's actions rather than their words. That will kind of show you where their level of effort is. If they're setting up dates with you, if they're texting you, if they're calling you, those are all good signs. Now, if you're the one doing all those things and it's not quite 50-50, and or say maybe you're the only one doing that completely, that could be a bad sign. And for men, I know that that usually falls on us to do, but if a woman is really interested in you, you'll be able to tell, for instance, if for some reason a date doesn't work out, she'll throw out another day that might be better for her. She'll basically try to reschedule. That's showing her interest in you. If a woman, however, cancels a date or flakes on you, and she doesn't offer up any kind of alternative day, or basically allowing you to set up another date, that's usually a bad sign. So just pay attention to those kinds of things, and you just don't want to be the one doing everything, putting in all the effort into it, because then that usually means that you're chasing, and that's what we want to avoid. So here's a big one. If they stop putting in effort without any valid reason, so should you. This is a tough one because I know a lot of us get pretty invested in the person, where we like them a lot and our brains start doing that thing that we hate, where we start visualizing a future with them, which that's another thing. As much as you can, don't allow your brain to do that. It's a trap. But when that does happen, it can be hard to kind of stop things. But if they stop putting in effort, you should as well, because that's a huge sign that they're not interested. If they like you, they are not going to stop putting in effort out of nowhere, especially without giving you a valid excuse or reason. Now, I normally don't like excuses, but some of them are very valid. And say if they just have crazy stuff going on in their life, maybe family problems or some other stuff has come up, if they at least tell you that, then okay, cool. Let them know that that's fine and move on from it. And when they're ready for it, you can see them again. But if they don't put out any kind of valid reason and they kind of just ghost you, do not reach out to them anymore, please. That kind of just shows neediness again. And if some people like that, they like seeing or receiving that attention and validation from you. If they stop putting an effort into a relationship, it shows that you still like them, you're still invested, and some people get a little high off of that. So don't fall into the trap of continuing to reach out to somebody who is showing you point blank that they're not interested, because that's pretty much what they're saying if they stop reaching out to you without giving you any valid reason for it. So anyway, I hope this video has kind of showed you what this concept of not chasing entails. You pretty much do not want to be the person putting in all the effort. Now, you should still put in effort, just kind of as much as you can, try to put in as equal amount of effort as the other person puts in. And no, this isn't playing games, it's just a way of kind of protecting yourself so you don't overinvest and then get hurt in the end, because that can happen if you're the only one putting in effort. You want to avoid that trap as much as you can, and always pay attention to the other person's actions far more than the words, because their actions reveal their true intentions and whether or not they really care about you. Anyway, I hope this video helped you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci!